wait to tell everyone about AT&T's big 5G news.
AT&T has nationwide 5G?
Yep.
And that's faster?
Faster, yeah.
But is it reliable?
Uh-huh, and secure.
You should consider making a big deal about it.
Bigger?
I said bigger.
Oh, bigger deal, bigger than what I'm doing.
It's not complicated. A 5G network needs a 5G device. Now everyone, including existing customers, can get a free Samsung Galaxy Note 20 after trade-in.
At times, it's felt like an invite-only soft open. That ends now. The SEC is back. This is what we know football Saturdays to feel like. Tradition-rich brand names. Welcome to the return of the conference, where, as they like to say, it just means more. This is college football presented by Geico. Glad you're with us from Oxford, Mississippi, as you're watching the SEC on ESPN. So much has been asked of these players, enduring sacrifices, and all in the midst of social unrest. Florida and Ole Miss set to clash, but before these teams do, they've made a decision. Here's Marty Smith.
Tess, good afternoon. The Ole Miss Rebels and the Florida Gators will work in concert during the opening kickoff to promote unity and solidarity in the quest for social justice. They plan to take a knee for the opening kickoff. This was an idea born from head coaches Dan Mullen and Lane Kiffin. The two teams released a statement this morning that said they're using that moment to acknowledge the unrest in the country surrounding the treatment of African Americans. We had the opportunity to chat with Dan Mullen about it last evening, and he said he arranged a Zoom call with his former Mississippi State quarterback, now with the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Dak's message: use your voice. But remember that you have that voice because of football. Use that voice in a very positive manner to enlighten and educate, and don't let it take away from the reason you have the voice. And that's what we're about to see in just a few moments, Tess.
Thank you, Marty. Joe Tessitore and Greg McElroy with you upstairs here. Marty down on the field. Vaught Hemingway Stadium. They're allowing 16,000 fans to be here today for the start and the return of the SEC. You can see Mullen and the coaches the first to take the knee, the players following. A showing of unity, a decision made by both teams, by both coaching staffs, to acknowledge everything going on in our country in the midst of social unrest. These players who have given so much just to arrive at this point, this is how they want to honor those who are in their thoughts and have a showing of unity before they do what they've been waiting to do for so long. Florida won the toss, elected to defer. So Jerrion Ealy is back to receive, and SEC football is back off the foot of Evan McPherson. So let the Lane Kiffin era begin here in Oxford. Your thoughts on what Lane should be delivering here, Greg?
I think we're all excited to see what he's going to do with two talented quarterbacks. Lane Kiffin inherits two guys, one in Matt Corral who can really throw it, one in John Rice Plumlee that can really create with his legs. It's a dynamic offense, and when we asked Lane Kiffin why Ole Miss, you had other opportunities, he essentially said because we have great young offensive talent.
Well, and they're on the field together. So that is how the Lane Kiffin era will begin, as Moore takes the swing pass from out of the backfield, and the outstanding slot receiver goes ahead for nearly 9 yards. So Corral and John Rice Plumlee out there together to open up the offense this year. And now Plumlee looking for room on the right side and doesn't find anything at all.
You'll see with this Ole Miss offense, they are going to be hyper-speed tempo. Their offensive coordinator, Jeff Lebby, coming from UCF. So expect them to snap the ball as quickly as humanly possible while still implementing some of the gamesmanship that we've seen from Lane Kiffin over the years.
They're down in one as Plumlee catches breath. Look to the play call. Dual threat, fast running quarterback, started 8 games last year. keep it himself, and the whistle will blow.
Before the snap, first charge timeout, Ole Miss.
So timeout used by Coach Kiffin.
30-second timeout.
His 9th season as a college football head coach, coming off 3 seasons at Florida Atlantic, where he's able to win a couple Conference USA championships.
And he is an innovative offensive mind, and I think he obviously has the respect of everybody that has played against him, including his defensive coordinator, DJ Durkin. Asking Durkin, hey man, what's it like working for Kiffin? He goes, well, it's a heck of a lot better working for him than having to defend him. So it's going to be fascinating to see Lane Kiffin now. A little bit different strategy than what we saw the last time he was in the SEC. He's kind of gone to FAU and has adopted that UCF hyper-speed tempo while trying to push the ball down the field. But what Lane Kiffin's done great over the course of his career is featuring players. Expect guys like Jerrion Ely and a really talented running back, and Elijah Moore, their slot receiver. Those guys will get a lot of touches because Lane Kiffin's creative in finding ways to get them the football.
There is Moore, preseason pick, 3rd team All-SEC. Last year was top 5 in the SEC in catches per game. So 3rd and 1 off the timeout. And this time Plumlee is going to spin ahead for a first down.
Now you can expect that tempo to pick up a little bit. Get a first down. It's a nice job using Matt Corral, the throwing quarterback of the two, there on the jet sweep action, and John Rice Plumlee picking it up with his legs.
And now it's Matt Corral in the shotgun as Corral. A little bit of pressure in his face, floated up there, and the diving effort downfield from Plumlee. And they're going to walk this back incomplete, but quarterback to quarterback.
Oh, he's pulling out the stops already. When asking yesterday, a good effort there by Plumlee as the ball sails inside. When asking yesterday, can Plumlee catch? He said, I hope so. He's going to have plenty of opportunities to.
Quickly to the other side. Boy, he is so athletic. Listen, if you can get him out in space, he is dangerous. 7 yards. Matt Corral to John Rice Plumlee. 3rd and 3. And Ely able to turn the corner and get his way to the line to gain.
I love what they're doing so far, keeping a talented Florida defense off balance. You have different quarterbacks that are rolling in. You're trying to stretch and get it to the field using your athleticism and speed at running back. It's been a good plan so far early for Ole Miss.
Here's Ely. And Ely catches a bit of a seam just past midfield. Jerrion Ely, very elusive. He was 2nd team preseason All-SEC. 2nd and 6, he'll get work again on that left side as he weaves his way through that Gators defense. Inside the 40, and another first down for Ole Miss.
I love this misdirection. If you watch the right tackle, he pulls around, gets up inside on the Mike linebacker, and Ely squeaks forward. Right here, if I'm Ole Miss, though, I'm taking a shot downfield.
Instead, it's going to be a tackle for loss. That was Gervon Dexter, a big freshman from Lake Wales, Florida, getting into the backfield. He was a highly touted recruit. A lot of people who think he could be one of the young breakout stars in the SEC.
Florida always seems to have 2 or 3 guys on the defensive line that can just take over the game, and Dexter might be one of them this year.
2nd and 12. Corral. Incomplete. Off the hands of Drummond, and a flag is down.
Really big
Sean
hit.
Davis, hands on the hip.
Yeah, could be targeting too. We'll take a look at it.
We'll see.
Personal foul, targeting a defensive player, number 6 defense. Plays under further review.
As the physical senior safety, Sean Davis, will take a look and take a break and see what they say about it.
Many of us are still working from home and sharing the space with our co-workers. Co-workers who borrow supplies and have attended every meeting. A gift can help. And now, when you shop online or pay with contactless using MasterCard at grocery stores, MasterCard will donate to Stand Up to Cancer, one precious cent at a time, up to $4 million. So treat your coworker and start something priceless.
We are back to action here. The Red Hat official has been on the field for a minute, and the other officials have completely disregarded it, and 3 plays have now gone by. Let me get you up to speed as to what happened. Targeting was confirmed, so safety Sean Davis is out of the game. The Red Hat official, who has the clock that the officiating crew is to look at, was completely disregarded. So while we were in commercial break, they started playing again. Meanwhile, they reviewed this and said, yes, targeting confirmed. Florida safety Sean Davis is out of the game. Rashad Torrance, the freshman, now steps up into that spot. Brad Stewart, the senior, is not available to play today. 4th down and 3. High snap. Corral gets it. And Corral trying to survive, and he is taken down. So it's a turnover on down. Zachary Carter with the sack. Well, this officiating crew, led by Mark Curls, did not look over at the Red Hat official who was telling them we are still in commercial break. So they went ahead and played after the targeting call, and Ole Miss was unable to take advantage. And there is the Red Hat. You see him there, pretty easy to see. He's got the big stick with the timer on it, but it didn't serve him well at all.
It's a little off-season rust. Everyone excited to get going. You know, that's kind of par for the course. Been a long off-season, ready to play. I get it.
Here's the guy that Florida fans are excited to get going, Kyle Trask, as he will hand off to Pierce. And Pierce will lower the shoulders and get it out to the 32. But Trask voted first-team quarterback on the preseason All-SEC team. Last Gators quarterback to do that, to be first-team preseason All-SEC, Mr. Tim Tebow.
It's been a while, and I'm telling you, man, I'm so impressed with how Kyle Trask has developed, taken ownership, grown as a leader, and has really gotten comfortable in Dan Mullen's offense.
Pierce went for 9 yards, 2nd and 1. Trask, look at the time he has to choose an option, and he does with Copeland.
And Dan Mullen has been willing to evolve and has done a great job here, calling an offense that allows his quarterback to be comfortable. Right here, beautiful throw on the outbreaking route, really nicely done by Trask.
Pierce this time not as much against the interior of that defensive line. That includes Ryder Anderson and KD Hill.
I love what Dan Mullen's willing to do. He said, look, we have an offense, but we will adopt it to our personnel. Kyle Trask, maybe not the best runner in the world, but the guy can flat out throw it. He's a pure passer. And as you can see, the passing yards per game last year, exponentially better than they've had really in the last decade for the most part. So very promising 2019 and hopefully some momentum heading into 20.
2nd and 8. Trask downfield and incomplete, broken up at the moment of impact. He was looking for Copeland. And you can see Hawkins was like a hawk in that defensive backfield.
It'll be really interesting to watch this Ole Miss defense. Look, Florida has a lot of really good weapons and improved offensive line, and they have a headliner in Kyle Pitts at tight end. This Ole Miss defense, a lot of question marks, and they've had them for years. Will this group improve under DJ Durkin, the new coordinator?
Pierce empties out, top of your screen. 3rd and 8 for Trask and the Gators after the turnover on downs. 4-man pressure. Trask resets his feet, and in doing so, gets the All-America tight end Kyle Pitts, who's going to be a matchup problem for everybody this year. Let's go to Matt in the studio.
Guys, good afternoon. Keeping an eye on a game for you. Rocket Mortgage Studio update. You've got Kentucky, Auburn, SEC Network. You also have Cavassier smoke. 35-yard touchdown. Kentucky up quick. 7-0 over Auburn.
Top 25 matchup down there at Auburn. Touchdown lead for Kentucky. Pierce tried to reverse course. That's a good sign for Ole Miss. One of the points of concern is how will that defensive front stand up today. See Tisdale getting involved there. He has shown flashes during camp. They're looking for him to just add in some consistency now with his productivity. Tight formation, 2nd and 11. Malik Davis, the running back. And Davis is dragged down from behind by Sanogo. Got the Sunshine State rivalry tonight. Eric King and the Canes hosting Florida State at Hard Rock Stadium. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. What a tough spot for Florida State to be in. Mike Norvell, obviously, you've seen all the headlines, out of action. They struggled when we were down there to watch their game against Georgia Tech, and now they get this razor-sharp offense of Miami and coordinator Rhett Lashley and what he's been able to do. 3rd down and 8. Trask incomplete, and a flag is down as Pitts was the intended target. He was covered by Kadron Smith.
Pitts is such a matchup nightmare, and he's going to draw a lot of fouls this
Pass
year.
interference, number 36 defense. Penalty includes a first down.
And as Pitts tries to cross face on the outbreaking route, you can see pretty easily there the grab by Kadron Smith. And a good call by the officials. Big play too there on 3rd and long. Forcing the incompletion, giving Florida a fresh set of downs. They're going to continue to try to emphasize, Joe, throughout the course of this game and really the course of this season. Kyle Pitts is the best player arguably on the field right now. So you got to think he's going to be a big part of every plan, and clearly a couple looks already, he's a big part of this one.
Here's Davis as he gets his way to the 15-yard line.
Kyle Pitts, he wasn't eligible, Joe, for the Mackey Award, the best tight end in America, because they said he played too often as a wide receiver, didn't do enough blocking. So he really took pride in trying to emphasize that growth and development in the offseason, and hopefully for this Florida Gator run offense, it'll pay dividends here in 2020.
As Ole Miss's Sam Williams just found out. Play action, Trask, incomplete. Grimes was right there at the 1-yard line, but he couldn't hold on.
Really nice late hands here from Kadron Smith. See, initially Grimes able to secure it, but Kadron Smith, that left arm dislodging the football on the back shoulder. Excellent play from the defensive back who got called for the pass interference just a couple plays earlier. Got to have a short memory in the defensive backfield, Joe.
3rd and 6, and they've got Pitts split out to the top of your screen here, and now Davis joins him. Empty look for Kyle Trask.
There's Pitts.
Here's Trask in cut, and it'll be a 1st and goal Gators as he connects with Davis.
And even though the ball didn't go to Pitts, he served as kind of that rub receiver. He's going deep. They bring the slant underneath it. Look at Pitts take the initial surge from Jones deep, which gives you a little bit of cushion on the slant route as you try to hit Davis underneath. Good execution on the stack alignment.
Yeah, and even Sistrunk, the linebacker, got sold a little bit on that. As it opens things up for Davis, Davis will remain in the backfield, 1st and goal.
It's a beautiful opening drive from Florida.
Sure is. After the stop defensively. Davis patiently waiting and spinning for just a little more to the 4-yard line.
these down in distances too. In the red zone, you look for length. So I love looking in the direction of the tight end here, Joe. Maybe a little play action. You might have Pitts in a position where he's one-on-one against a safety or a linebacker. You might be able to find him over the top. He's lined up right here at the end of the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they go play action, maybe give him a look.
Tony in motion. Pitts goes 6'6". Instead, it's Trask trying to find something straight ahead, reaching for the end zone, and they're going to mark him just short.
Really close there. So it looked like Trask might have had enough. You look at that left knee down right there. Ball's clearly short at the 1 yard line. That's a good spot. Trask, big body, not the fastest guy in the world, but at 240, he's more of a power runner, more of a downhill guy that can really push the pile. So he'll get chances on short yards to run the football.
3rd and goal. Play action. And there he is, as you said, Kyle Pitts, first Gators touchdown of the season.
Just a great look. Ole Miss, full flow towards the stretch action off left tackle. You bring the athletic Pitts across in motion. You fake it, easy throw for Kyle Trask, and the Gators are on the board for the first time of 2020.
And for Kyle Trask, 25 touchdown passes a year ago. Gets the first one with ease on a well-managed drive here. Extra point from McPherson. Touchdown lead early on for the number 5 team in the country.
You're watching the Marathon Conference Kickoff.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And in part by Corona Premier. Lower carbs, lower calories, 100% Corona.
Well, that's what the Grove used to look like. Universally accepted as the premier tailgating spot in all of college football. And this is what it looks like today. The new realities of our sport, but we're glad just to have it back. And then there are the cutouts with some socially distanced fans.
And Bernie,
they're allowing
25%. You see Weekend at Bernie right there?
Yep. I love that.
Draped in the blue, the new blue uniform there for Ole Miss.
So Pitts with the 1 yard touchdown has Ford on the board as we check in with Matt.
All right, Oklahoma's offense picking up right where they left off, gentlemen. Oklahoma, Kansas State. Spencer Rattler to Marvin Mims after Rattler shows his ability to climb the pocket back of the end zone. Sooners up 7-0 over Kansas State. And at Auburn, bounces back against Kentucky. Bo Nix to Anthony Schwartz. He would get called down at the 1. Auburn would get the touchdown and a 2-point conversion up 8-7.
Thank you, Matt. Be interesting to see the development of Bo Nix this year in that Auburn offense. Ely, slithery there, helmet comes off at the end with Rashad Torrance, who's in place of Sean Davis, who was ejected with a targeting call on the first series. Ely went for 6 yards.
And Ely's a special back, a lot of speed, should fit really nicely in this new offense, especially when you take into account John Rice Plumlee's presence and Matt Corral's ability to drive the ball down the field.
And they'll keep it on the ground again. It'll be a 3rd and 1. You know, that last play really sums up what Ely is. He's explosive, he's dynamic, but he's really good with missed tackles. Last year, he led the SEC with the best missed tackle rate. 3rd and 2, and he will have enough for the first down.
I'm telling you, man, this Ole Miss offense is going to be exciting. If their defense can continue to step up, give them some extra possessions, this group will be able to move the football, but of course it's going to be about executing in the red zone.
Corral trying to spin free and unable to do so. Ventrell Miller with the sack.
This is a great job by Ventrell Miller at linebacker, recognizing the movement of Corral as he spins out of it initially, just kind of keeping his eyes in the backfield. A late green dog pressure, and Corral spins right out into him. That's a great job by the linebacker, dropping the quarterback for the sack.
Yeah, Miller, who lost 15 pounds this offseason, and you see what that mobility and speed does for him. Here's Tylen Knight, and Knight doesn't get anything. Ball came out at the end there, but he was ruled down. So they're going to be in a big hole of a 3rd and 19.
I like this concept on the draw, but it didn't work this time. As you see the secondary defender there coming up, making a big play.
3rd and 19. Corral played in 10 games last year. Plumlee took over after an early injury to Corral. 3rd and 19. Corral, time to wind up, and he does it. What a strike! And finding an in-cutting Elijah Moore, and they convert it. A 3rd and 19 and a quick lightning bolt from Matt Corral into the hands of Moore.
Man, amazing throw and a great job up front and protection there by the Ole Miss offensive line against only 3 Gator defenders that were providing a pass rush.
And quick to the line. Corral wants every bit of it, and he's gonna find it. Drummond, hotty toddy, what a start there for Corral. A 46-yard touchdown pass to Dontario Drummond.
That's an appropriate reaction right there. What a great throw and a fantastic answer from Ole Miss's offense.
And converting that 3rd and 19 to Elijah Moore. And then saying, why not? Luke Logan puts it through. Well, we expected this offense to be able to score. Quick strike, fun stuff. 7-7 here in Oxford.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
Glad you're with us watching the Marathon Conference kickoff. 7-7 game here between Ole Miss and number 5 Florida. Joe Tessitore with Greg McElroy and Marty Smith. Dontario Drummond, the 46-yard touchdown catch from Matt Corral. And this is Tony on the return. As he is met at the 22.
Let's take a look at that touchdown on the AT&T 5G Skycam. Look at the eyes of Donovan Steiner in the backfield. You have to count for so much with this offense. He didn't even see the receiver making a double move over the top. Look at Steiner. I mean, literally frozen there at about 10 yards. As a result, over the top, a little double move to Drummond. A perfect throw from Corral for the touchdown. Lane Kiffin, over the course of his career, has made a living throwing these double moves at the perfect time. That time, because of the jet motion, Steiner froze, and that double move found one-on-one and a big play and a big answer from Ole Miss's offense.
Emory Jones now in at quarterback for the Gators. Jones, many believe the future of the program. Fleet feet, big arm, was a big recruit as well. Jones gonna loft it downfield, and it is easily picked off. That's A.J. Finley, who was just waiting for that rainbow to come down and he finds the pot of gold. Interception, Ole Miss.
And it's all made possible because of the pressure up front. You see big number 89, Ryder Anderson, forcing that pressure. As a result, Emory Jones has to throw it off his back foot. The ball is just airmailed. You almost saw a fair catch signal there from Finley.
Seriously.
Who ran underneath, did a great job tracking the football. Sometimes when that ball's up in the air forever.
Now, would you look, what do we have? We got a money bag. Is that a cash bag?
Wow, I love it.
The money bag for turnovers now?
Interceptions. I'm telling you, man, interceptions and turnovers. I love it.
I saw a touchdown chain with Dontario Drummond. Marty, you better get ready for some investigative journalism here. Could be a double pass. Drummond's going to wind it up. Wide open and into the hands of Ely. Razzle dazzle. Lane Kiffin's in town, folks.
I just can't tell you how much I love the patience here from Drummond. Little pump fake, step up in the pocket, climb, and throw a dime.
And then a tackle for a loss. Brenton Cox, the sophomore defensive end, was able to come in for the Gators, but momentum Ole Miss, the turnover, and then the trick play. And how about Drummond, a guy who just had a 46-yard touchdown catch, throwing that pass downfield. Second and goal, but backed up. Corral batted at the line of scrimmage. And Florida believes that they have come up with that ball, and they have. That is Gervon Dexter, the outstanding freshman who comes up with the turnover. Ball was batted, deflected right to the middle of the defensive line. It was Brenton Cox who got his hand up, and watch where this ball goes.
Wow. I mean, just 2 consecutive plays by Cox to completely disrupt the momentum that Ole Miss had offensively, making the play in the backfield and going airborne and tipping that pass, and Dexter retreating. Look what I found. Making an interception in his college debut.
Remember, he had a tackle for a loss earlier, and we talked about the fact that there are many who believe he could be one of the breakout young stars in the SEC. Now he has an interception in the first quarter of his first SEC game. Gervon Dexter, the 6'6", 300-pounder from Lake Wales. Jones is right back in there at quarterback. Emory Jones, who just threw an interception moments ago, in for Kyle Trask.
I like this too by Dan Mullen. Hey, you made a mistake. It's all right. Hey, next play, you still got the next drive. We're going to get you back into the plan, because the longer you keep Emory Jones on the sideline, the more he'll think about that interception, that bad decision. So get him back out there, get him playing, because you might need him at some point in this game to create some of that quarterback run.
They have these planned packages for him. And here is the quarterback run as he's able to move the chains for the Gators. Redshirt sophomore from Georgia in at quarterback. Let's go to Matt in the studio.
All right, guys, check it out on Louisville and Pittsburgh. Javian Hawkins, 75 yards for the touchdown. Pittsburgh jumped out to an early 13-0 lead. Hawkins and Louisville back in it, 13-7 over on ACC Network.
Thank you, Matt. Kyle Trask now back in at quarterback after that first down pickup by Jones. Tony on the jet motion as he's able to break that first tackle. And look at Kadarius Toney. A burst of power and then a whole lot of speed. Chunk play, Gators.
A great job by Kadarius Toney. I mean, it was well played defensively. You got to make the tackle there in the backfield. As you see, Toney always electric with the ball in his hands, breaking that tackle and getting to the open field.
And now Trask to the end zone. Touchdown, Grimes. The 6'4" senior. Hyper warp action here. Dueling turnovers, big plays, and Florida strikes back. Trevon Grimes with the 22-yard touchdown. (14-7). McPherson with the extra point. How much fun is it to have the SEC back, folks?
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
So Kyle Trask, the touchdown pass to the big target, 6'4", Trevon Grimes. You know, it's interesting, Greg, Grimes was one of the players who opted out at first with COVID concerns. And then at first week of August camp, he said, no, I want to be back with my teammates. I feel good about what we're doing. Now, Florida fans feel good about his decision, what he was able to do right there.
I'm telling you, this receiver core, they lost a lot of really good players at wide receiver with Cleveland, Hammond, Swain, and Jefferson. But, man, they are still excellent and long and fast at that position.
Now, the senior Kyle Trask, and you think about the recent years of Florida quarterbacks. He told you, first team preseason All-SEC. And the last Gators quarterback to do that was Tim Tebow.
What I like most about him is nothing's been given to Kyle Trask. He was a backup quarterback in high school, and he has just worked his way through it. Finally got that opportunity, unfortunately, as a result of an injury last year to Felipe Franks, but he stepped in against Kentucky, delivered a fourth quarter comeback, and then rode that momentum the rest of the way. He's provided a lot of stability at the quarterback position after years of being very up and down.
Snoop Connor will get some work here as he takes it ahead for 3 yards.
You look at these starting quarterbacks, John Brantley, Jacoby Brissett transferred, of course. Jeff Driscoll transferred. Skylar Morningweg, Treon Harris. I mean, Will Greer, of course, having to get suspended after 4 games. I mean,
Connor breaks free as Connor's able to get it out to the 45-yard line. And over 500 rushing yards last year as a true freshman. Got a lot of offensive production from their freshman class last year. And this time, nowhere to go. He's met in the backfield by Cox as well as Carter. Remember, it was Brenton Cox who had the tip pass that went to the hands of Dexter. And then the Gators able to have that touchdown drive. And that'll do it for a fun, wildly intriguing first quarter. Pitts got the day started with a touchdown. Drummond provided fun with the long one, and then moments ago it's Grimes to get us to 14-7 from Trask.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
What a great day to finally say this. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Commissioner Sankey gave good, measured leadership to get everybody to arrive at this point. And all these young men did their job, sacrificing for months and months. Start of the second quarter, Ole Miss trailing by a touchdown at home. Corral got a good arm downfield. There's a lot of contact downfield with Moore, who was matched up with the talented Marco Wilson, but it was well beyond him.
yeah, and I understand why they're kind of yelling. There was some contact, but the throw was so far to the outside, really wasn't in the catchable position. If he throws that ball to the right hash, might have a touchdown.
3rd and 11. Corral, pressure in his face. He slips past it, tucks, runs first down, and slides safely past midfield to the 45-yard line. First down, Rebels.
I'd take a shot here if I'm Ole Miss. Plus territory, 1st and 10. This would be where I'd take the top off the defense.
Corral has the arm to do it, as we saw earlier to Drummond. Instead, it's Ely as he's able to get to the corner. Let's go to Matt Berry in the studio.
All right, guys, checking in on Oklahoma's offense. Spencer Rattler already a touchdown pass. Another athletic throw here. The receiver of the touchdown, Drake Stoops, son of Bob Stoops. Sooners up 14-0.
Thank you, Matt. Look forward to hearing what Matt, Jesse, and Joey have to say at the half. John Rice Plumlee back in at quarterback now for Ole Miss. Plumlee has the wheels. Moore comes in motion. He'll give to Ely. Ely probing that right side and run down with very good pursuit. And it started with Trey Dean, the star nickelback.
You got to think 4-down territory here, Tess. Plus territory about 3rd and 4 or 5. So expect Plumlee to maybe keep it with his legs. It is.
And whistles blow.
Yeah, he's got to let those guys get aligned.
Sometimes there's too much tempo.
Before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's a brutal penalty. At 3rd and 4, you have the option to run or pass. Now 3rd and 9, almost obvious passing down. Now, you can run it if you're thinking about going forward on 4th down, but with Corral in, it would certainly lead you to think he's going to drop back and throw it. Watch a crossing route coming from down here. Let's see if they cross the field right here.
3rd and 8, Corral steps up. He tucked, ran for it before, and what a juke he puts on to get it this time. It was Trey Dean.
That was a good job by Corral. He had that mesh concept, those crossing routes underneath. Nothing was there. He took off, picks it up again with his legs.
Quick strike and complete to Moore, his favorite target.
They say, look, John Rice Plumlee is the more dynamic athlete, no doubt. But Matt Corral can run too. Don't get it twisted, showing that last couple downs.
High snap. And he's able to make something of what should have been nothing as he goes ahead for a couple.
Good decision there. As the snap from Ben Brown, a little high. It could have very easily, had he tried to hand it off. That's when you have a collision, you have a fumble. Don't make a bad play worse. See what you can pick up with your legs. Good decision there by Matt Corral.
Their would-be starting center opted out because of COVID concerns. Corral. Into the end zone is Drummond. What a first half he has had. Two touchdown catches for Dontario Drummond.
Yeah, let's give a little love to Snoop Connor, too. Going and doing everything he possibly can, hitting Andrew Chatfield there at the end of the line of scrimmage. A nice job throwing it underneath to that little snag route. And Drummond finds the end zone yet again. Well-designed play there from Ole Miss.
And Logan punches it through. And Matt Corral, little sidearm, slings it to Drummond, and we are tied up here in Oxford.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
Great design on the last Ole Miss touchdown. Snoop Connor saves a life on the end man of the line of scrimmage. You're going to see guys just working all to the right, including the quarterback, which means full flow. So what does that mean? You just got Drummond just going to nestle up right there behind the flowing defenders. A beautiful job there by Matt Corral, negotiating a defender in his face with a little sidearm action, and Drummond doing the rest of the dirty work to find the end zone. That's a beautiful design from Ole Miss's offense, who has been in a nice rhythm here early in this football game.
They sure have. 233 total yards with still 12 minutes to go in this first half as Luke Logan kicks away. And we will check in with Matt.
Checking in on Syracuse and Georgia Tech. Watch this. Sean Tucker up the middle. Georgia Tech thinks they tackled him, only they didn't. He was still up. And Tucker scores for the Orange right now, 7-0 early on.
First time since '92 that Florida's opening up their season against a fellow SEC team. 14-14. Trask quickly gets it to Whittemore. And Whittemore takes it out to the 32-yard line.
So far, Florida really has only stopped themselves. I mean, they had the interception from Emory Jones, but everything they've tried to do so far, both through the air and on the ground, has been very effective, and they've had some big plays too, Tess. So Ole Miss defense needing to step up and get this offense a little out of rhythm.
2nd and 2. Pierce. Extra effort does the job as he was able to get out of the grasp of A.J. Finley. And Mullen, you look at the run-pass ratio, you see a year ago 54% of their play calls were passes.
It's just adjusting to what his quarterback's most comfortable doing. Kyle Trask is a traditional drop-back passer, and Dan Mullen's willing to accommodate that.
Trask. That was batted that time by Finley. Just got enough of it.
Finley missed that tackle a second ago against Pierce, but that time reading the quarterback's eyes on the RPO, drifting underneath the glance route, doing a good job of going vertical and tipping that pass. The secondary, a lot of question marks in this secondary, trying to find some answers. They'll be rotating a lot of guys in as DJ Durkin and Lane Kiffin try to figure out what they have on the defense side of the football.
2nd and 10. Pierce, nothing happening there. Patrick Lucas was waiting on him and crashed down that 320 pounds on him. He's got real upside. For his ACL in the Alabama game last year, just when the coaches were starting to see some real potential, and now you can see it bubbling up on the interior of that defensive line. But he'll come out on a 3rd and long. 3rd down and 9. They bring 3 against Trask. They go with a receiver screen, and taken down is Justin Shorter. Shorter, originally a 5-star recruit to Penn State, transferred to Florida, and they're expecting big things out of him this year.
That's a great job there by Ole Miss's defense. Really, for the first time, doing a good job for the most part there, tackling, being aggressive, flying to the football. Looked like there was some room there for Shorter on the screen. They rallied to it, pursue, and forced the first punt of the ball game by Florida.
Good job by Durkin's defense. Jacob Finn comes on to punt. The senior from Jacksonville, Elijah Moore. Going to get back inside the 10 for the fair catch. So that is where Ole Miss will start on offense. Tied up here in Oxford. More to come. Don't go anywhere.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
ESPN College Football, presented by Geico, is brought to you by Marathon, fueling the American spirit, and Dos Equis, a most interesting beer. Please enjoy responsibly.
I promise you one thing, a lot of good will come out of this. You have never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season, and you never see someone push the rest of the team as hard as I will push everybody the rest of the season.
Tebow's famous promise speech after Ole Miss beat a then number 5 Florida 31-30. Here they are tied with number 5 Florida at home. We're watching Tebow and the crew on SEC Nation this morning, and of course they went through that again, and Tim had to go through it again. Ole Miss playing Florida, you know it's going to be run.
Ironically enough, that was the only game that Megan Mullen, Dan Mullen's wife,
yes,
the only game she didn't travel to in his career. So she's not here today either as well, by the way, if you are a superstitious person.
Little tap pass to Moore as he finds something out of that and goes ahead for 10.5 yards. He's got some wiggle to him, doesn't he, Greg?
I really like him. And I like how they're using him right now. They've been able to carry it on jet sweeps. They've found some opportunities in one-on-one, and that's what Lane Kiffin does as well as anybody in college football. If you have a star, he can make you into a bigger star like he's done over the course of his career.
This time it's Tylen Knight, and Knight is driven down hard. That was Vontrell Miller. You know, Todd Grantham talked about how much better Miller looks this year. We mentioned earlier that he lost about 15 pounds to help with his mobility, and his pursuit down the line there was superb. Second and 8, and keeping his balance was Knight, so it'll be 3rd and 1 for Ole Miss.
You mentioned Miller. This front 7 for Florida, a few key pieces from last year missing, trying to find those weapons that can get after the quarterback.
Quick to snap and driven back. Mr. Miller says, I will be the brick wall right now, my friend. What a fill. Run fitted up, Miller.
Wow, I mean, right in the middle of the field. It was really made possible there by Zach Carter, there a defensive tackle who just put the guard on roller skates as Miller filled. My goodness. And Dan Mullen was worried about tackling. How about that?
We'll leave that to Navy week 1.
That was a heck of a hit in the hole.
They're tackling down here today. Mac Brown on to punt. Bounces at about the 21-yard line. We'll be back here to Ole Miss in moments. Marty with a significant story about impacting change.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
This is a monumental moment of social change in the state of Mississippi. For 126 years, the state flag carried the Confederate emblem, but as of June 28th, it doesn't anymore. And collegiate athletics played a tremendous role in that decision, as SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey made the decision that he would ban postseason events in the state until that decision was made. Down the road in Starkville, Mississippi State running back Kylan Hill tweeted this: either change the flag or I won't be representing this state anymore. I mean it. I'm tired. Even before that, Momo Sanogo and Ryder Anderson from the Ole Miss defensive unit, they led a unity march across campus that included the entire athletic department. On June 25th, Mike Leach from Mississippi State and Lane Kiffin from Ole Miss joined 46 total coaches and administrators at the state capitol in Jackson to lobby for that change. And guys, change is coming.
And we saw United Force earlier today as well, just before kickoff. Copeland had the 14-yard touchdown from Trask, and now Trask comes back and he goes to Copeland again. Really a good visit with Lane Kiffin yesterday, Greg, and he made the comment, he said, listen, he goes, I have learned from my players. I've sat back and I've been able to listen and learn from my own players.
Yeah, and I think that's a remarkable part of what's transpired is the player's voice is now heard more than ever before, and I think the locker room has really come together. We've talked to guys each of the last 3 weeks just how close the locker room's become as a result of this offseason, and that's a special part of obviously growing as an individual.
Here's Trask on first down, and that is incomplete to the outside as he was looking for Pitts.
Greg, you said it really well that the players took great notice. The movement did not end with the state flag. On August 28th, the Rebels abruptly canceled practice and instead marched in peaceful protest from the training facility on campus to the Oxford Town Square. Kiffin told us yesterday that he's taken greater emphasis on listening to the players, that they're educating him as a white head coach, and that looking back now, it's always been coaches telling players what to do, but this is a new time. Let the players teach you, because their wisdom includes things he's never even thought of before.
Trask is able to connect with Kadarius Toney, and Kadarius Toney ducks free and has a Florida first down.
Guys, I wanted to get one more note on this end, and that was from linebacker Lakia Henry, who told me it means so much to us that Lane and every one of our coaches on this staff see us as human beings with voices and concerns, and not only as athletes.
The flag is down here.
Offensive line except for the snapper. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
With all that movement, it'll march them back 5 yards. It'll be a 1st and 15. And if you didn't join us earlier, there was a united front, a showing of unity with everything these players have been through, from the pandemic through the issues of social unrest, that all the players and coaches took a knee prior to the opening kickoff, just before the kickoff. And they've gone out and they've played pretty entertaining first half since that moment. And football that's a lot crisper than many anticipated. Here's Trask on a shallow cross and knocked out, incomplete. That's incomplete there as Lakia Henry came in closing hard. That was intended for Grimes.
It's a great job by Henry. Reading that underneath shallow cross, and a legal hit too. Just leading with the shoulder, initiating contact and dislodging the football. It's an excellent job there by the senior linebacker.
Davis looking for anything on that right side, and it is Henry who makes the tackle. Well, coming this week on Sunday NFL Countdown, before Mahomes and Jackson face off, it is all access with those two young greats. Plus, one-on-one with Russell Wilson and Randy Moss, as he is wanted to do. The best catches from today's college football action will be ranked. So kick off your Sunday morning with NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. 3rd down and 7. Empty look for Trask. They bring 5 against him. Trask with time, and it's Toney again, spinning inside the 20-yard line, and Florida's on the move.
It's a beautiful job of recognizing this move. Look at this route. Man coverage across the board. So find your quickest guy that could separate. You find Toney on a quick little reverse whip route, hit him right over the middle. Accurate throw, and you get the speedster in space. Big things happen.
Probably the most exciting player with the ball in his hands, Kadarius Toney. Trask extending to the right, looking for an option. Flag is down as he throws it away. Pitts was the closest man. This looks like it's going to be holding.
I think it's going to be on the right tackle to Lance as Trask moved out of the pocket, grabbed the shoulder pad of the outside rush end there for Ole Miss. Pretty obvious call right in front of the official.
Holding, number 56, offense. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Lance, one of the veteran guys on that offensive line, came over in 2017 from Texas and started 13 games last year for the Gators.
And that's hard sometimes as an offensive lineman. You're in there, your quarterback's in the pocket, you think that's where he's at, and then next thing you know, quarterback leaves the pocket and the launch point changes. So therefore, the direction of the rush changes, and sometimes when you're engaged, it's difficult to dislodge. So that happens a lot. Feel bad for the tackle as he sets his offense way behind the sticks.
First and 20 now for Trask and the Gators. Drives the ball to the 15, and Grimes comes up with the catch. Trevon Grimes, who had the 22-yard touchdown reception earlier. That's 13 yards shaved off, so a 2nd and 7.
Great job by Trask. First and 20. Don't get too aggressive. Let's see if you can get half of it back. That's always the goal when you're off schedule. Does a great job on the 12-yard curl route. Nice accurate throw to set up second back on schedule.
Second and 7 for Trask. To the end zone he goes, and into the hands of Tony. Touchdown, Gators. Three touchdown passes in the first half for Kyle Trask, who is set to have a huge season. And consider what his career has been, the well-told story of being the forever backup and then last year coming in and becoming a star. And this is the first time in Kyle Trask's football career since 9th grade that he begins a season knowing he's the man, that he's the starting quarterback. From the arm of Trask, 3 touchdowns in the first half and back to a 7-point margin.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
Kadarius Toney has worked so hard refining his craft. When he arrived in Gainesville, he was just a flat-out baller, but now he's a refined and polished wide receiver, really taking advantage of some man coverage and working the middle of the field beautifully. He just reeled in that touchdown, working against outside leverage. I mean, he has become such a well-rounded player. He was always a guy that could just get the ball in his hands, find a way to get him touches. Now, he can do it down the field as a really excellent route runner and a guy that can catch the ball anywhere.
Jerry Neely's going to take this out of his own end zone. And he is sent back and retreated at the 15 before making his way to about the 18. Let's go to the studio and Matt.
All right, guys, coming up on the Lexus halftime report, SEC's back full slate. Got a close one between Kentucky and Auburn, plus LSU's going to be without another star today against Mississippi State. And we've got Stoops news in Norman. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway join me coming up. And McElroy, I don't know if you're catching this, but it just feels like the Joe Tess effect is going to be in full force today for the finale of this game that you guys have.
And I think that's the SEC effect.
The Tess effect is back, folks. That's what we like to say in our crew here.
Matt, we have a little fun on the road, Matt. John Rice Plumlee at quarterback as Connor splits out, and he's able to run it and keep his balance ahead for maybe 5 yards there. Monday Night Football is a good one this week, folks. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs taking on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Both teams at 2-0. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, Deportes, and the app. Of course, coverage always begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6. Here is Moore, Elijah Moore.
I wonder about that Monday Night Football. Is the winner of that game going to host the AFC Championship?
Oh, you're really getting out in front of it now.
I'm way down the line. I'm in January already. What do you think, Joe? You think?
Right now, my concern is December 19th in Atlanta. And that is the SEC Championship. Here's 3rd and 2, and Connor doesn't find much, and a flag is down at the 25-yard line.
Holding, number 78, offense. 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
It was Jeremy James, the right guard.
I love the mouthpiece there. I didn't notice that.
Looks like it should be in Eugene, Oregon, though, doesn't it?
I'm telling you. That is excellent.
Although in terms of color schemes, the powder blues are working for me today. Lane Kiffin said we're going to go with the powder blue jerseys. That is a good look. Now, we've seen the powder blue helmets before.
Correct.
But now the powder blue jerseys. Game number 1, the Kiffin era. And you know, they've had success with the powder blue helmets. Remember the upset of Alabama back in 2015? And then the Sugar Bowl victory over Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. This program not too far removed from some really remarkable times. And those powder blue helmets, Joe, you know, I'm very loyal to like the traditional helmets.
I mean, you played
I love the traditional helmets.
You're an Alabama guy.
I love the traditional helmets. I love the USCs, the Notre Dames, the Texas, the Oklahoma, the Alabama. And I love the traditional helmets, but there is a special place in my heart for those powder blue helmets. I think those are so sharp. And now that they got the jerseys to match, you got to love it.
So Mack Brown on the punt away, his 3rd season as Ole Miss's starting punter. Jack Probst, the long snapper. Kadarius Toney is going to be sent back inside the 20, and then he slips there. So well done by Mack Brown. And now the sun in full effect here. Woke up to clouds and a little misty rain. It was overcast for much of the day, and now beautiful sunshine here in Oxford, Mississippi, where they're allowing 16,000 with COVID protocols. No tailgating on campus. The Grove is closed. No Walk of Champions. All the great pageantry you think about with Ole Miss. But we've got ball, and we've got good ball right now. 21-14. Here's Trask. As he was looking for Dameon Pierce coming out of the backfield.
It's been interesting to watch the defensive plan from DJ Durkin, the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss. They have most of the time tried to double cover Kyle Pitts, the outstanding All-American candidate at tight end, maybe the best receiving threat at tight end in the country. They've done a good job of doubling him, which has opened up one-on-one opportunities for other guys to make plays.
Second and 10, 4-man rush against Trask. And over to Henderson. Xavier Henderson with the reception. Marty.
Gentlemen, the state of Mississippi is a walking soundbite. All right, you have the pirate Mike Leach. Down the road in Starkville now, you have Lane Kiffin, who has had some of the greatest sound bites in college football history right here in Oxford. And now in Jackson, prime time, Deion Sanders. Then you got Scotty Walden, who's now at Southern Miss, who's like 30 years old and doesn't even look 30. Looks like he should be a senior in high school. So we have a walking soundbite here in the state of Mississippi. And as someone who really enjoys good sound bites and makes a living off of them, I'm all for it. I'm all in.
No doubt about it. Jalen Jones with the hit on Kyle Trask moments ago on that 3rd and 1 as he was very close to the line to gain. Can you imagine the week of the Egg Bowl? Can you imagine what it's going to be like that week with these two coaches now?
Well, I've called 3 Egg Bowls, and there is no love lost in that rivalry. We all know that, but it's even ramped up on another level nationally now, knowing the outstanding, respected coaches that both Mississippi State and Ole Miss have patrolling their sidelines.
Let's see that mark on that short run by Trask, and it is indeed a first down for Florida. Kyle Trask, 14 completions, 170 yards, and 3 touchdown passes in this first half. The first Florida quarterback with 3 touchdown passes in a season opener since Tebow in 07 against Western Kentucky at the FBS level. Got to go back to Tebow in 07 to see a first half of productivity like this.
It's Tebow's Heisman year.
Trask. Stepping up, pointing, giving direction, and then the ball comes out awkwardly as his arm was hit. So Ryder Anderson and that front tracking Kyle Trask.
Fellas, when we were talking to DJ Durkin, the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss yesterday, he made a really good point that we just saw right there. It is imperative that they get to Kyle Trask and get him off his spot. They said when he's in his rhythm, in his spot, in the pocket, he's an extremely accurate thrower, but when you make him move and you hit him, his numbers decrease significantly, and that's what we just saw right there.
Final minute of this first half, 2nd and 10. Trask going to connect with Davis, who gives a juke and goes ahead out over the 40-yard line.
Now at this point, Florida's got to be thinking points, all right? 2-minute operation, you get the first down. Now you start to get into a hurry up. See if you can't steal some points before the half. Still have a couple timeouts in your back pocket, so you don't have to work the sidelines just yet. Start to get into a rhythm.
Trask, plenty of time to set up and gets a big man, Kyle Pitts. One of the best tight ends in the country. Remember, they have the timeouts to use, and Kyle Pitts has put the Gators in prime position to the 35-yard line, and they'll utilize a timeout.
Yeah, you got to call timeout after the big play, but look at Pitts. I mean, it's good coverage initially. He's just so strong. I mean, and that is a long day at the office there for Keydron Smith, trying to work in one-on-one coverage against a guy that's so long, so difficult to defend. And a beautiful throw there, too, from Kyle Trask. Kind of up and over, let that big body wide receiver in Pitts go up, make a play, and get yourself really within a position where you can start to attack the end zone if you so choose.
Well, you really start to see the development, the maturity, and the talent of Trask, the 6'5" senior who came in week 3 in the 4th quarter against Kentucky last year. And then when he got his chance, he became a breakout star. Had 4 300-yard passing games last year. Kyle Trask, you put that in perspective, that season he had last year, you know, for 9 previous seasons from 2010 to 2018, all the Florida quarterbacks combined for only 3 300-yard passing games, and he had 4 300-yard passing games last year, including 310 against LSU.
And he was the missing ingredient. Florida's had great talent and personnel, but the quarterback position has been a roller coaster for a decade, and he has brought poise and accuracy and consistency to the position.
Guy who was grossly under-recruited here. 20 seconds to play in the half, and coming back for the ball that time was Pitts.
This might be where you try to clock it if you're Kyle Trask. Get up, spike the ball, save your timeout.
And that's exactly what he does, leaving 12 seconds until half.
I love that play there. Save your timeout, because if you, for whatever reason, get sacked or you have a missed exchange, you fire that timeout, still preserve the opportunity to take a field goal. But now, 12 seconds, I'm taking 2 shots at the end zone to see if I can potentially steal 6 as opposed to 3 before the end of half.
You know, we see Mark Curls coming over to put the headsets on. I think when Kyle Pitts came back for that ball, they may question whether or not this was a catch. Did he have full control with his arms between the ball and the ground?
It was really close. It was a great effort there from Pitts. Do his hands get underneath it? Of course, the call on the field being a catch has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn. Based on that action right there, and the white gloves help, that's for sure. It does look like they are underneath that football as he secures the catch.
Stands. First down.
And it does. Boy, what a weapon Pitts is. So athletic, big, strong, fast. And comes from Philly. His mom's a nurse. Dad works for Amtrak. And he's a hard-working young man who has put himself in great position to have a very bright future.
Yeah, he's going to make a lot of money playing this game. I mean, he is exactly what you want in a modern-day tight end. Not all that dissimilar to Evan Ingram.
That's right.
Who
One
they
of the
had
Ole Miss
here
greats.
at Ole Miss for so many years, first-round pick of the New York Giants. He's longer, though, than Evan Ingram, and still provides that same type of matchup problem.
Remember, 1 timeout in the back here, and you're not gonna need it. Kyle Pitts scores it. Tremendous first half from Kyle Trask. 4 touchdown passes here at Ole Miss for the Florida Star.
This is just one of those, Joe, it's Jimmys and Joes against X's and O's. Kyle Pitts has doubled, but when you look at the throw and where he puts the football, that's ball location, back shoulder, and just the enormous catch radius from Kyle Pitts. Man, what is a very difficult catch. He makes it look easy and secures the points before half. Beautiful 2-minute execution from Florida. They're in mid-season form, Joe, and they're only in their first game of the year.
(28-14).
Man, you look at the double coverage. I mean, look at number 21, A.J. Finley, trying to stay out over the top of Kyle Pitts, trying to help out that corner on the outside, who's in an almost impossible spot to try to guard Pitts one-on-one. It doesn't matter, though. The location of the throw and Kyle Pitts going down and making the catch, truly remarkable.
Illegal substitution, 12 players participating on the defense. Penalties decline, but try is good.
You know, Greg, yesterday I'm sitting there and getting set for the weekend of college ball, and I'm on ESPN.com, and here comes the hype machine now, and here comes the buzz about Florida, because the Football Power Index, folks, they ran the simulation of the SEC season, and they said Florida's going to beat Georgia, Florida's going to upset Alabama, Florida's going to go to the college football playoff, and Florida's going to win the national championship. I'll tell you what, there are great pockets of talent here, but I want your take on considering Florida as a true national championship contender.
They are, Joe. It starts at the quarterback spot. Kyle Trask has great poise. He's very accurate. He understands where he fits within the offense. He has really good supporting cast, and the offensive line appears, at least through first 30 minutes of the season, appears to have taken the next step in their development. They have continuity. And in a year or two where we have always wondered with COVID and the challenges of trying to prepare a team, these guys have already done it. A lot of them have played extensive amounts of football. So I think that continuity, the poise that they have, and the athleticism that they have on the perimeter, there's just a lot to like about this Florida team. If they can solve some of the issues on defense and finding and identifying a difference-making pass rusher, they might not miss a beat with where they were on defense last year.
Now listen, you look at these SEC schedules, you're playing 10 games in this brutal league, but you don't see Alabama on the list when it comes to Florida. You just look at early November, you circle that date against Georgia. Going to take some bumps and bruises week to week when you don't have the non-conference games, but how do you see the schedule setting up for them, Greg?
I think it's relatively favorable. I mean, is it ever favorable? It's 10 SEC games.
Right,
It's still
exactly.
an absolute gauntlet. But all things considered, I mean, with the state of the SEC East, it might only take a win against Georgia to secure a spot in the SEC championship, just given where some of the other programs stack up. So you got to feel really good about what we've seen from the Florida Gators in the first 30 minutes.
A lot of good when you look at that scoreboard. 28-14. The SEC, its grand arrival, and isn't it fun?
It is fun. Joe Tess and the Lexus halftime report.
The official pizza of college football. Order now at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Matt, Jesse, and Joey back with you. Halftime Saturday preview of the Sunshine State battle, Florida State, Miami. Have a look at Miami 2-0, one of the talks of college football, courtesy of one De'Aaron King. But Joey, no Mike Norvell tonight for the Seminoles. What are they going to need to do to pull off the upset?
Stop looking like the Florida State we've seen the past few years. We've been waiting on this Florida State team to look different, and they didn't in their first game. Now they had a week to think about it, a week to improve. They're missing their coach tonight. James Blackman has to get help. They only ran the ball for 109 yards in the last game. They need to run the ball better, help out their quarterback.
And Florida State's defense has to impact Miami quarterback De'Aaron King. They have to find a way to get him on the ground. You can't just keep him contained and in the pocket. He showed you against Louisville. He'll pick you apart, work through his progressions, sacks, tackles for loss, hitting him, force the ball out of his hands. Bad news for the Seminoles. Their best pass rusher, Joshua Kando, questionable.
You're watching the Marathon Conference Kickoff.
College football on ESPN, presented by Geico. As you are watching the SEC on ESPN, and you are watching the number 5 team in the country show you what their offense can be all about. Kyle Trask with 4 touchdown passes First half stats are brought to you by Zaxby's. And Greg, listen, Ole Miss is moving the ball, but that defense started to give way a little bit before the half.
Yeah, you see 8.4 yards of play given up. Not ideal, but Florida in a really nice rhythm. Not just throwing it with Kyle Trask, but keeping third down manageable and finding their stars. Of course, Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney, two guys that have been making plays in this conference for quite a while, putting on an absolute show. Kyle Pitts, a touchdown right before half, his second already on the day. He's got 5 catches for 75 yards, and Kadarius Toney just 3 yards away from having 100 yards of total offense in the first half of football. So it's been a really nice mix of run-pass and making sure their best players are getting plenty of looks here early in this football game.
Yeah, and as for those numbers for Toney, he's the first FBS player this season with over 40 rush yards and 40 receiving yards in a single half. Remember, he had that big 50-yard run. Dazzling on that. Well, we put forth the concern with the Ole Miss defense. What do they have to do here in this second half to slow down Trask and the Gators, Greg?
They have to tackle. I mean, when you look at what's happened, they've given up a bunch of big plays because of contact. You just referenced the Kadarius Toney 50-yard run. Well, that would have been a 2-yard gain had they tackled within an arm's length of the line of scrimmage. So they have to tackle better, and the coverage has to become a little bit tighter. They've had a difficult time matching up with the length of these Florida wide receivers. They got to find an answer to disrupt the rhythm, and the only way to do that is to find a pass rush. So a lot of problems defensively for Ole Miss and DJ Dirk and their coordinator.
And Florida, remember, they deferred when they won the coin toss, so this is a critical juncture. See if Ole Miss can come up with a stop right away. And here is Toney right back to business as he scoots out at the 30. Marty.
Gentlemen, I talked to Dan Mullen as he exited the locker room and talking to his team. He said, man, it took us some time to settle into the speed of the game. You could certainly tell that we hadn't played real football in a very long time, and that is one of the greatest benefits and values of having a veteran quarterback to settle us down.
2nd and 6. See Toney look over to the sideline as well as Trask made the call. A little bit of safety pressure as they bring Jones off the edge. Pierce picks it up. Trask downfield, and with that, here is Pitts. Run, young man, run. Touchdown, Gators. '71-yard touchdown catch for the All-America tight end. And this Florida offense is razor sharp right now.
Just beautiful job here from Kyle Trask. He made the check before the snap, saw the safety pressure, knew the middle of the defense would be vacated, and he finds Pitts downfield for a big touchdown.
Kyle Pitts has 146 yards and 3 touchdowns. Man, oh man, is he something.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
Big trust. Woo, woo.
How about those teams? We dominate. One play at a time. Do something special.
The man, the myth, the legend, Lamar Jackson.
Pretty good showdown, Mahomes and Jackson on Monday Night Football. Remember last year, Jackson, I said he had Jackson 5, that game against the Rams, the 5 touchdowns. We got a Trask 5 here. Kyle Trask has 5 touchdowns with still 14-19 on the clock here in the 3rd quarter.
And this is just his veteran presence. I mean, he sees safety pressure, which means you're going to get a little bit of a 2-trap, and what do you have? You have a beautiful design, double Kyle Pitts, and with that safety departing off the hash on the far side, you have that double, the outside-in leverage. Sometimes 2 heads aren't better than 1 because they're playing it inside out, and he just goes straight. He clears over the top of the defender, and it is a beautiful catch and run from Pitts, but it all started with the adjustment and the audible pre-snap from Kyle Trask in recognizing and diagnosing the coverage.
Corral downfield, and he finds Moore. And Elijah Moore is weaving, and he's inside the 20. Listen, Ole Miss doesn't have a problem of getting into a track meet, except when you look at their defense. This offense can hang with anybody.
Yeah, I love this design. Little scissors concept on the left side of your screen. They have two players, and they switch. That safety stays wide. You find the post over the middle. Great execution by Ole Miss's offense.
High snap. Ely's going to take it straight ahead, catches a seam, makes a move, keeps his balance, and with a helping hand, right into the end zone. Just what they needed, a response, and they get it. 18-yard touchdown run for Jerry and Ely.
And a great answer from Ole Miss. Big play to Elijah Moore. And then Elijah Moore says, hey, I get by with a little help from my friends, as he throws his running back into the end zone. And Ole Miss is alive here in Oxford.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
ESPN College Football, presented by Geico, is brought to you by Allstate and the Allstate AFCA Good Works team, recognizing athletes for their charitable work. Visit ESPN.com/Allstate to learn more.
So we're living a new normal here in the COVID-19 era. And speaking of new normals in college football, turnover chains, touchdown chains, all kinds of different chains on these sidelines. And Ole Miss is now the latest in the Lane Kiffin era. They have a touchdown chain that's a huge gold football emblazoned with Ole Miss and a big gaudy chain around their necks. And even more than that, they have a turnover bag, which I'm told the players really wanted it to look like the money bag emoji. And they have accomplished that. So when they pick a pass off or get a fumble, they get to carry around an emoji. Nothing is more 2020 than that.
And nothing will put more fuel on SEC Twitterverse than that.
I love it.
And by the way, Marty, one man's gaudy is another man's treasure. Lane's got the juice going here of having this program feeling a certain way, but right now they need their defense to find a stop. Offense is not an issue, but trying to control Kyle Trask, who's gone for over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns already, is. Davis, and Davis breaks free. Malik Davis with a little something extra out to the 48-yard line.
And the run game starting to find its way a little bit. Well blocked there, play side, as Lakia Henry, number 0, can't get there in time to bring down Davis. And this Ole Miss defense still struggling, now giving up over 10 yards a snap to this Gator offense.
Trask didn't see from behind. Ball came out, but fortunately Gamble was right there. They'll lose 2 yards as Trask didn't see the pressure coming around that time from Sam Williams, but fortunately for him, Kimari Gamble was able to recover the ball.
And a good job there, like you alluded to, by Williams, breaking through against Gamble in pass protection and dislodging that football. They have to find more of a pass rush. Kyle Trask is doing a nice job seeing the field. They have to get home and make him uncomfortable.
Now, Williams had 6 sacks a year ago. Let's see if he can get some pressure here on 2nd and 12. Trask with time, and should have been an easy pitch and catch, but it's shortened to the outside of Xavier Henderson. A reminder, tonight you have the Canes and the Knowles. And folks, if you haven't seen what De'Aaron King and that offense is doing, check them out. That is a team to watch. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. Great rivalry. We'll see if Florida State can start to bounce back and find their way.
Huge down and distance here for Ole Miss defensively. They have not had an answer on third down yet today. Only one punt forced. Can they get off the field by showing pressure here with so many Ole Miss defenders at the line of scrimmage?
Third down and 12. To the near side, and lunging for it was Whittemore. Let's see where they mark him down. And that'll be a first down for Florida based on that spot of the extra effort from Trent Whittemore.
Great job by Whittemore. Yards after catch, thrown in front of the sticks, knowing how far. Look at his eyes go to the right. His eyes went to the right to find exactly how far it was he had to go as he turned upfield. It's an excellent job and awareness there from Whittemore.
Give credit to his mom for his athleticism. She was a great Gator as a volleyball star. He's 6'4". And the extra effort there. Malik Davis, not much on the inside, goes ahead for about 3 yards.
Let's go back. I mean, look at him. Look at his eyes. I mean,
holding, number 89, offense. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
As you hear the holding penalty there just a second ago, but great effort there from Whittemore. As you saw, as he turned upfield, those eyes went to the right, tried to see what the line to gain was, and he got just enough to get the first down prior to the holding penalty on 1st and 10.
They'll make a 1st and 20 for the Gators. Was Ole Miss defense. They need to try to catch a break, anything to try to slow down Trask and Tony and Pitts. There's Whittemore again. Past midfield and gets it to the 46. What do you got for us, Matt?
Okay, Joe Tess, I've got a little Auburn update for you. Bo Nix finding time across the end zone. Seth Williams, 5 catches, 108 yards, and that score. Auburn up 15-7 over Kentucky.
So Bo Nix with the touchdown pass. That's a very intriguing Kentucky team this year with what they're capable of doing. And it's a tough task to open up at Auburn. 2nd and 15. Incomplete. Denied that time. As the coverage came from Jay Stanley.
Great job by Stanley. He actually messed with Kyle Trask's eyes that time. Showed like he was going to the flat, recovered, and tried to get in behind and underneath that slant. Excellent effort to force in 3rd and long. Imperative here if you're Ole Miss's defense to get off the field.
They've been struggling to do that, but now a chance. 3rd and 15. Pressure off the edge. Trask dips up, and then he's going to dump it down to Davis. Davis wrapped up and taken down.
Got just enough to think about it.
Tavius Robinson with the tackle there as they will send on the punt team. Oh, they're going for the long field goal attempt here. Evan McPherson, who has the leg. He kicked a 67-yarder in practice a week ago. Lining up for a 55-yard attempt, McPherson. Can he drill it? Great turnover, great drive, and puts it right through from 55 out. Dan Mullen said, I think he's the best kicker in the country. Came into the season at 89.5% of his career make for field goal percentage, the highest mark in Florida history, and why not from 55? You know the beauty of that too? He didn't do anything different. his normal stride, his steps, his elevation. He just knew that he had it. And with that, we have a 17-point margin.
And that was a great job, too, by Trask and that Florida Gator offense. Look, 3rd and long. Just dump it down. Maybe you give yourself a chance to maybe kick a field goal. Excellent game management there from Trask.
College football rankings are brought to you by PlayStation 5.
If you look at this, obviously absent any Big Ten teams, but still the SEC in a remarkable position of strength. 4 teams in the top 6, 5 teams in the top 8, and 6 teams in the top 10, with Texas A&M there sliding into the top 10. Excellent league as always.
You know, we had this discussion with Lane Kiffin yesterday, but it's worth repeating because you sit here and you look at this Ole Miss team. We've been talking about, hey, this offense is fine. It's the defense. But he said the recruiting wasn't good defensively. The problem is right now, how do you deal with it during COVID when there wasn't spring ball, when you didn't have the hands-on evaluation of summer camp, and now kids can't take visits? Recruiting is an uphill battle right now for a team that's trying to get going in the right direction.
Of course, and the top-level recruits right now, they're probably going to sign with known commodities, guys that have established cultures, programs that have a clear track record of winning. And with Lane Kiffin trying to get things started here, it is a really difficult task right now. He needs to get guys on campus and develop relationships, and that'll come in time.
Matt Corral pumps, goes deep, and is able to connect. And it's Elijah Moore again. One of the most dangerous playmakers in the SEC is having himself a day.
I mean, this is just a track meet. Go deep, young fella, and go up and make a play. It's been impressive to watch Corral and Moore connect deep throughout the course of this game.
Moore has 170 receiving yards. Keep it on the ground with Snoop Connor now, more than between the tackle guy.
I mean, I love it. I mean, 1st and 10. The safeties are cheating. When the safeties are playing tight, why not? Take a shot one-on-one. You got your best receiver working against Florida's corner, and he goes up and makes a play for you.
You know, it's interesting you bring up the safeties because obviously that's a point of concern with Florida. Remember, early in the game, there was a targeting call that got Sean Davis, the senior safety for Florida, out of this game. Brad Stewart, who 2 years ago, he had the big pick-6 interception against Joe Burrow in LSU. He is not here to play, so they are thinned out at safety.
They are, and they're having to rely on youth. They have a true freshman, Rashad Torrance, back there, number 22. They have Steiner, who's a senior and a veteran, but a lot of unknowns in the secondary for Florida right now.
3rd down and 8. Here's Moore out of the backfield. Flag is down as he tiptoes his way to the goal line. That flag is all the way back at the 25-yard line, and they're already retreating.
Holding, number 78, offense. 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
What do we got, Matt Berry?
Joe Tess, I've got another star quarterback doing star quarterback things early on a Saturday. Spencer Rattler to Jeremiah Hall. These Sooners are booming early on, 28-7. Now we'll go back to your star quarterback, Greg McElroy.
I see what you did there.
Look at that.
Booming. Boomer Sooner, like that's just a tremendous play on words there from our very own Matt Berry.
Spencer Rattler with 270 yards passing and 4 touchdowns against K-State. 3rd down and 18 after the penalty. Four-man rush against Corral. He's going to split the middle and just bring it ahead to the 25-yard line. Luke Logan will come out for the field goal attempt for Ole Miss. Experienced kicker who has made 33 career field goals. Of course, last year he had to grow from missing the PAT in the Egg Bowl that would have tied the game. 42-yard attempt, and it is off to the right. So a missed opportunity for the Rebels.
Today's Aflac trivia question. What is Lane Kiffin's record in head coaching debuts? He's had a few of them. Want to know what his record is, Mr. McElroy? Take a quick break.
Now you can really save with Allstate. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. Save even more for driving safely. Take another look at Allstate and start saving. Click for a quote today.
All right, you had time to think about it. The Aflac trivia question. Lane Kiffin making his Ole Miss debut here. Hey, what's Lane's record in head coaching debuts, Greg?
I got to add up the debuts, and I was surprised to find that it was 2-2. A little surprised there. You surprised at all or no?
Well, that counts the Raiders as a head coaching debut there. Here's Emory Jones back in the game at quarterback, and this is exactly what he's capable of as the backup quarterback, but a guy who's really the future of the program, a do-it-all, former big recruit, goes for 22 yards.
So they're really pleased with his development. He's always been able to run the ball with a lot of efficiency, but they say he's more comfortable throwing it now than ever before, more accurate, more decisive, and that's all part of the maturation process into one of the best quarterback developers in the game.
Now you get to see his arm. Near side, and Grimes is going to take it inside the 30 as he makes his way down to the 23-yard line. Let's go to Matt.
As expected, guys, close one between Kentucky and Auburn. Terry Wilson to Akeem Hayes. Good catch. Kentucky went for two, didn't get it, so Auburn still up 15-13.
Got an oddball score down there in the Plains. Right, nothing happening, just had to wiggle his way back to the line of scrimmage as Dalen Gill made the tackle. He was a JUCO All-American at Jones College and then came to Ole Miss this year.
And they're probably going to have to continue to find guys like that via the transfer portal, via JUCO. You're going to have to continue to find guys like that can come in and contribute early.
So Emory Jones getting another series of work here. Well, you take Trask out, he's got 343 yards and 5 touchdowns. But this is what you're going to see out of Florida a lot this year. Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics and the Heat comes your way tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. NBA Countdown. We'll get our coverage started at 6:30. I got a home full of folks that bleed green back there in New England.
So good. Just to mess with you, I'll take the Heat.
Yep.
Sound good?
I'll let you deal with them. That's a tough crowd. 3rd and 5. Jones looking over his options, then goes inside the 10 and incomplete as he was looking for Toney. Kadarius Toney, who has been such a big part of the success today, but unable to connect there was Jones.
Yeah, and Jones right there not recognizing the pressure coming off of the left side. You know, he's a righty, so that's his blind side, and that time the pressure got home from Lakia Henry, delivered a big hit. And Jones inaccurate there on 3rd down.
So on comes McPherson again after just hitting a 55-yarder. That tied the 3rd longest field goal in Florida history. The longest is 60 by Chris Perkins all the way back in 1984. As he puts it through again. And it's 41-21. Gators on top, 5th ranked team in the country, and we'll be back in 10 seconds. Joe Tessitore, Greg McElroy, Marty Smith with you. The return of the SEC. SEC that we heard from Commissioner Sankey this week that they're giving all 14 schools the Connexin wearable devices. So, you know, we hear so much about contact tracing and how that can knock out position groups or certain people. But in the SEC, they're going to be using this electronic device when players are at the team facilities, they're practicing, they're at games, so they know where everybody's been. About the size of a watch.
Yeah, and they have done everything the right way. With the SEC, the way they've handled this, they've been smart, they've been patient. And I think we all, as college football fans, we ought to tip our cap to Greg Sankey and everything he's done to get us to this point. Now, a long way from the finish line, but man, we're excited to be back in an SEC stadium.
And he would say it's not about me, it was just about providing opportunity for these young men to do what they were able to do. So this is where things stand right now. We know about the return of the Big Ten, October 23rd and 24th. SEC is going to be 10 conference games. And then the announcement of the Pac-12 this week that they will return and play 7. They're going to return the first week of November and play 7 games, then have their championship weekend that third week of December as well. But I turn to you and I say, will we get enough of a sample size of the Pac-12 where they can make a legitimate case and argument at all to be involved in the college football playoff?
It's going to be tough, Joe.
Here's Plumlee on the jet motion, and he's taken down by Chatfield and the rest of the pursuit up front, including Chris Bogle.
And ultimately, it's not about the amount of games played. It's always the 4 best teams, right? So if they can showcase that in 7 games, then sure. But, man, I think it's going to be really hard to jump a 9-1 SEC team or a 10-1 ACC team, given the strength of those 2 leagues this season.
I completely agree with you, Greg. I don't see how 7 games, even if someone goes 7-0, unless they just boat race the entire league, would get much of a look when the other leagues are playing 3 and 4 more games.
Diabate with the tackle for loss there. And that'll be a 3rd and 16 now for Ole Miss. Florida showing pressure. You see Ventrell Miller in that B gap, in that sprinter stance, ready to launch, and now they switch it up and back off. 3rd and 16. They drop 8 against Corral. And Corral better get those legs going. He's going to slide safely down. They'll mark him down at the 27-yard line.
Good job there from the Florida defense. Of course, a group that does have to replace a lot of key pieces off last year. C.J. Henderson, now in the NFL. Jonathan Gennard was a 3rd-round pick, and Zuniga was as well. So a lot of really good pieces off that Florida defense from a year ago. So many disruptive guys in the trenches especially. Tough to replace, but with the way they recruit, you got to think Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator, is going to be able to find pressure and create a lot of negative plays like they were able to do on that drive.
Brown turns this ball over inside the 30. Fair catch by Tony. College football presented by Geico, part of the Marathon Conference kickoff in the SEC. And we have been wowed with what we have seen from Kyle Trask, the Florida star quarterback, here today. 5 touchdown passes, 343 yards. The 5th quarterback in SEC history to throw 5 passing touchdowns in a conference opener. You know who had 6?
Who had 6?
A guy by the name of Joe Burrow last year against Vanderbilt.
Pretty good year for Joey.
Pretty good. And Pierce bring it out to the 37-yard line. Well, this is how the return of the SEC got underway, as both coaching staffs as well as the players decided, hey, we want to do something together, show some unity. So prior to the kickoff, instead of kicking off, they all took a knee as a symbol of unity. And you think about everything these players have been through this year just to arrive at this point. How much is on their plate? We had a great conversation as Pierce takes it straight ahead. He'll do so for a first down. Brian Johnson, who was recently named the new offensive coordinator at Florida by Dan Mullen. We talked to Brian yesterday about the fact that, listen, playing college football is enough to have on your plate. Working so hard in the offseason. Then you have COVID. Then you have all the issues of disruption in our country right now. What these players have been through, the sacrifices they've made, what they're tasked with, it has been plenty. Pierce on first down, patiently utilizing Stuart Reese, his right guard, to open up something on the left side.
And I think the accountability, too, for every one of these players is at an all-time high as we look at this Florida offense and their offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson. But it's an all-time high because if you go out and you are, for whatever reason, test positive, you can potentially bring the entire house of cards down as we take a look at Brian Johnson. Just an excellent offensive mind, former quarterback at Utah, a guy that I'm very familiar with, having played against him in the 2008 Sugar Bowl, as he absolutely took us to school. Man, just have so much respect for him and his ability to connect with the players.
He was the MVP of that Sugar Bowl. I believe you guys were ranked number 4 in the country heading into that game in New Orleans. Marty?
Well, I've learned something today. I'm shocked that McElroy was not the MVP of that Sugar Bowl.
I didn't even play in that Sugar Bowl.
Yeah,
I did.
that is
Brian,
amazing.
If Marty, they should have given Brian 2 MVPs. That's how good he was in that game. It was unbelievable.
I'll tell you, Greg and Joe, the thing that stood out the most to me in our conversation with him yesterday in discussing the social justice movement and everything these young men are experiencing and all the change in the world is that in his room, he says, let's make sure that we understand all sides. Let's have empathy for other people. Let's try to consider the other person's perspective before we foster an opinion or comment on it. And I just thought that was such tremendous perspective from him.
Look at these moves by Naquan Wright, a young man who won a state high school championship at Miami Carroll City High School. A year ago only had 12 carries, getting a little more work here today.
And good coverage downfield, so a good drop-off there from Kyle Trask on the check down to right, and he does the rest. I mean, just excellent awareness and understanding of where your outlets are within the offense, and it's just been par for the course for Kyle Trask throughout the start of the first ball game here for the 2020 Gators.
And to the third quarter, Pitts had that 71-yard touchdown to get this second half going. Couple of field goals later, and we got 41-21 Gators.
Now you can really save with Allstate. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. Save even more for driving safely. Take another look at Allstate and start saving. Click for a quote today.
Bet Barry with a studio update. Some Big 12 action for you. Iowa State traveling to Fort Worth, America to take on TCU. Great stutter step and start at a Breece Hall. 75-yard touchdown. TCU has just scored. Close one in the Big 12.
And I love listening to Matt, Jesse, and Joey because today feels like sort of the grand opening of college football. I said earlier, it felt like a soft open, invite only in recent weeks, but today feels different, doesn't it? They are busy in the studio as we start this fourth quarter with an incompletion. He's looking for Trent Whittemore. Kyle Trask is sitting there on 5 touchdown passes in an SEC opener. Up by 20 points. Here's the group that has been at 5 in an opener. As Zipperer will take it ahead, and that'll be a first down for the Gators. That tight end room is really good. You know about Pitts. I mean, Pitts is going to be arguably the best guy in the country, but Gamble and Zipperer backing him up. That's a talented room. Tim Brewster's the new tight end coach, and he loves what he has with those 3.
Yeah, it's a really good group, and a versatile group that complements each other. I mean, with how Pitts has evolved into a well-rounded player, being able to do every aspect of the tight end position, he's going to be a handful throughout the season as they continue to get creative with how they use him.
First and goal, right. And he is taken down at the 7-yard line. Who knows? Maybe he does get to 6 touchdown passes in a conference opener here, depending on how the play calling goes.
Definitely possible. I just love how under control he is right now, and you got to give credit to his supporting cast. They've been really good, have made difficult catches at times, have created consistent separation, and the offensive line has done their job. See, that white jersey looks pretty clean for Kyle Trask.
Second and goal. And trying to escape that time was Justin Shorter, the big 6'5", 225-pounder who came over from Penn State. So it'll be third and goal. 5 touchdown passes. Do I hear 6?
Better have an answer for pressure if you're Trask.
Here's Trask, splint right to the end zone. And incomplete as Whittemore went out of bounds.
All-out pressure there from Ole Miss's defense. They didn't even try to hide it. They said, "We are coming." Trask did a pretty good job of escaping to his right, knowing that pressure and the unblocked defender was coming from his left. Bought a little time, was just a little bit late, and I would imagine that's what Dan Mullen's telling him right now, man. Release that ball a little bit earlier. You're running out of room there. You went to the right spot. Just need to anticipate that throw and let him run under it.
So that field goal operation of Diaguardi, Finn, and McPherson kicking back out there. Boy, and this looks like a team that may have all the elements. They got the quarterback, they got the defense, and they got the special teams. And they play in the league where they say it matters more. Did you miss us? Did we ever? Welcome back, SEC.
When you need your bank, Capital One's top-rated app is right here. So you can check your balance, deposit checks, pay bills, or transfer money. When you don't need your bank, put it here. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Joe, Greg, and Marty with you, and glad you're watching the SEC on ESPN. Florida has their most yards against an SEC team in the last 15 seasons. A mix of real fans and cutout cardboard fans here in Oxford to see this show that the Gators offense has put on. Florida's first trip to Oxford, Mississippi since 2007. Ely's going to take it out of the end zone. And he stumbles short of the 20. Let's go to Matt.
Guys, more Seth Williams highlights in the Auburn-Kentucky game. Bo Nix. Watch Seth Williams climb up and get it. Galloway said, Jesse Palmer's already declared a helmet sticker. I can tell you 22-13 Auburn over Kentucky.
Boy, that's an early helmet sticker call there by Palmer.
Very early.
Very proud Florida Gator himself, of course, is Jesse.
We'll disappoint not to see Palmer's name on the list of SEC openers most touchdowns.
He has had enough success in life. Another tackle for loss as Ely is driven back by Ventrell Miller. Miller's been so active today, hasn't he, Greg?
He's been excellent. And in a front seven that is kind of trying to figure out their identity, he might be the guy. Him along with Cox, number one. Those might be the two guys that we can really rely on if you're a Florida Gator fan.
Downfield and able to get it complete to Yeboah. Yeboah, the senior, who is coming as a grad transfer from Temple. And this time, Corral's able to get it complete to Moore. 14 more yards for Moore. Moore with 8 catches for 184 yards. You got UFC 253 tonight. The prelims are going to start at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. And then, of course, ESPN Plus for the main event. And once again, it's Yeboah as the downfield target.
How about Yeboah? Did Kyle Pitts switch teams? Because that adds some Kyle Pitts to it. Stretching the field, underthrown deep ball, go back and make a play on a big fella.
Well, he is a plug-and-play starter for this team, and they're going to need him. And here he is, reaching out, and touchdown! Kenny Yeboah had a lot of experience at Temple, played 38 games there, and then comes in with high expectations to Ole Miss. And on this drive, they say, let's go to him.
Looks like they're going to go for 2. Understandable. Down 23. Now
44 to 27 right now.
And now they're down 17. I like this call.
Two-point conversion attempts. As they'll come to a tighter formation. Ely in motion. Corral to the end zone, and in the back of the end zone, he gets Mingo. So a 2-point conversion. Matt Corral to Jonathan Mingo after the touchdown reception by Kenny Yeboah. And they cut it to 15 with 11 minutes to play. Look at that stretch out by Kenny.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And in part by Dos Equis, a most interesting beer. Please enjoy responsibly.
We got a mix of the real thing with fans and masks on, and then the cardboard cutouts, which, did I tell you my daughter spent $175 on those cardboard cutouts for a game next week?
I absolutely
She wouldn't stop. I said, you go ahead, you have some fun. $175 later, we got cardboard cutouts all over a stadium next week.
Section 102 brought to you by the Tessitore family.
Boy, oh boy, credit card is damaged. You know who's doing damage? Matt Corral. 314 yards and 3 touchdowns. Just had the 2-point conversion as well. Let me tell you something. The offense is going to be fun to watch here in Oxford this year.
Yeah.
And they're going to do some damage to folks.
I really like
offensively.
Corral's been playing well, man. I mean, Trask has been unreal, but Corral has done a lot of really nice things.
Here's Tony on the return. And Tony trying to shake free, makes it to the 24. Let's go to Matt Berry.
Cardboard cutouts of dogs in the stands should be a requirement. Kentucky tried a fake punt. Auburn wasn't impressed. Bo Nix and Eli Stove take advantage. Auburn separation, 29-13 over Kentucky.
So that's 2 fourth-quarter touchdown tosses from Bo Nix. That game was 15-13, and now all of a sudden Auburn is in control. And it is Kentucky that's going to have to deal with this Ole Miss offense next week. Trask on first down, and Pierce not much there. As Pierce had Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones wearing that number 38, the most honored jersey you can wear here at Ole Miss. The Chucky Mullins College Award winner. Of course, number 38 honors the legacy of the late Chucky Mullins, former Ole Miss player who was paralyzed from the on-field accident. That was back in 1989. It's such an honor to wear that number 38 and win that Courage Award. 2nd and 8. Trask, pressure right up the middle as he had Hal Northern, the senior, shaking free and getting after him.
Tell you what, man, this Ole Miss defense now have been a little lifeless throughout the course of the first 50 minutes, but now 3rd and long, pass rush is starting to get home with a little more consistency, and they're 1 down away and 1 stop away from getting the ball back to an offense that's been relatively unstoppable. But they got to find an answer for Kyle Pitts, who they have not had an answer for. He's in the slot to the top.
Now this is the moment, if there's going to be one, for the Ole Miss defense. A 3rd and 8 with just over 10 minutes to play. Pressure off the edge, and it works out. That was Moma Sanoga coming in. Flag is down back at the 13-yard line, and the cascade of boos comes with it.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 46 defense, driving the quarterback into the ground. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So Sanogo makes the big play, but gets the penalty for driving Trask into the ground. Let's watch the body weight and the position here.
I hate this call. I mean, Trask is a big guy. He doesn't get picked up. He doesn't get slammed. That's an awful call. Awful call. And I understand completely, as a former quarterback, the intent to try to protect the passer. You're in a vulnerable spot as you try to deliver the football. But right there, Kyle Trask is more than holding his own as he's getting hit. That's just a terrible call and a crucial down and distance.
And DJ Durkin, the defensive coordinator, dialed it up the right way, bringing Sanogo, got the stop he wanted. And now Tony on the jet motion carries it out of bounds for a few yards there. So Sanogo with the penalty, and the boos just continue here as we are now under 10 minutes to play, and that Florida offense is still on the field with a 2nd and 5.
And this is where you learn a lot about your defense. Had an unfortunate call go against you. Let's see the maturity now. Can you get off the field again? Can you answer the challenge even though things didn't go your way?
Looks like they're showing pressure off the edge again. And they're going to run with Pierce. And Pierce gets free, gets the corner, and puts on a move. And it's another first down for Florida.
Great job by Pierce, making a guy miss in the open field. These running backs, they go by committee. And they all do a really nice job of making you miss. And they're just sudden enough. They're all built to run really downhill. They're downhill type of guys, but they have some shiftiness about them. And they're deep too, 4 deep, where they really trust all 4 guys.
But this crowd still is reacting to that penalty against Sanogo. Davis, as he gets 3 yards there. Well, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund, and we thank All-State for that.
Let's go back to that 3rd down and 8. We get Sanogo for roughing the passer, saying he drove him to the ground with his body weight. I just hate that call. I don't blame the boos.
Tony will stop and start and go, and he has a first down. What do you got, Matt?
All right, guys, you've got drama there. We've got drama in Norman. All of a sudden, here comes Skylar Thompson in Kansas State. Thompson, 4 rushing touchdowns last year when Kansas State beat OU. He's already got 3 today, 35-28, 1-score game, 4th quarter.
So some action heating up there.
Remember the other way around.
That's right.
Last year.
It was 18-point deficit, I believe. I remember.
Made up quickly.
35-28. Oklahoma on top of K-State trying to surge back. Rattler with 4 touchdowns in that game. Davis, first down carry as he gets good pad leverage. Brings it to the 22-yard line. And that clock continues to bleed down. 15-point margin. Ole Miss thought they had to stop. They'd be getting the ball back. You know what their offense has done today. 496 total yards to this point for Ole Miss. Now Florida's on a record-setting pace. Florida's got 620. Bleed that play clock. And now play action, and Trask is the easy dump off to Pitts. And Pitts will have another first down inside the 15. Cannot say enough about Kyle Pitts and what he has been able to do. This is going to go on all year long. He has 7 catches for 153 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He is just a matchup nightmare. He's so long, he's so fast. And now that he's really refined his craft at the end of the line of scrimmage, using him on some of these nakeds and bootlegs, the misdirection that you might see off of wide zone lead left, and him catching these little flat routes and see what he does with it, that's just making him even more well-rounded as a player.
Naquan Wright. He is driven back by Tyrekus Tisdale.
At this point, if you're Ole Miss, look, at this point, under 6, I'm telling every one of my players, y'all, we have to go for the football. We have to. As every single ball carrier is going to the ground, we need 10 blue jerseys around it ripping at that football, because you almost have to force a turnover here, because a 3-possession game, even with the field goal here, it becomes an 18-point margin. You're just not going to have enough time, more than likely, to make that up. So tell your defenders, rip at the football, hold them up, and see if we can't jar one loose.
They've had one turnover today. It was the interception by Finley, and then they gave it right back off a deflected pass and interception by the Gators. A timeout used by Florida. Will take a break. 5:21 to play, right in the shadow of the Grove.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. What's in your wallet?
Greg, you want to take a look at the weekend wake up brought to you by Wendy's Breakfast?
I always want to talk about that because I love the breakfast Baconator. Had it this morning from Wendy's. Fantastic. But that's beside the point. Love this game between Mississippi State and LSU. LSU down Derek Stingley now, their best corner. Mississippi State and Mike Leach. I'm not saying it's going to be an upset by any stretch, but we have an excellent slate of games coming up here over the next few hours. But I'm really going to be interested to see the defending national champions at work.
I agree. Looking forward to that. A lot that gets revealed when you get to this part of mid-Saturday. To the end zone. Did he hold on? Yes! Touchdown, Kyle Pitts. And that is 6 now for Trask. 4 touchdowns for Pitts. 6 touchdown passes for Trask.
Man, I just love Kyle Pitts. I love you, Kyle Pitts. I want a Kyle Pitts jersey. I want a fat head of Kyle Pitts on my wall. This guy is a quarterback's best friend. Double coverage doesn't matter. Throw it up, high point the football, be strong at the catch, and reel it in for your 4th touchdown. Man, this guy is going to have a really exciting season if they continue to emphasize finding him in the red zone where he can be most effective.
They're taking a look to see if his feet are inbounds here. Goes up, grabs it up and over Jones. Get that back end down with possession. Remember, it was ruled a touchdown on the field as he got into that wrestling match with Jalen Jones. As it stands right now, 4 touchdown catches. The Florida record for touchdown catches in a game is 4. Ike Hilliard did it back in '95. Jack Johnson did it in '94. And now, if this stands,
the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Kyle Pitts has done it, tying the record for touchdown catches in a game. Trask has 6 touchdown tosses. The record in Florida history there is 7. Doug Johnson did it back in 1997. And you want to go a biscuit for half a hundo? Evan McPherson can do that too. 51-29. Chomping here in Oxford, aren't they?
Hey you. Yeah, you. I opened a SoFi Money account, and it was the first time that I realized I can be earning interest back on my money.
I just discovered SoFi, and I'm an investor with a diversified portfolio. Who am I?
I refinanced my student loan with SoFi because of their low interest rates.
Thanks, SoFi, for helping us get our money right. Thank you.
Joe Burrow and Kyle Trask are now the only SEC quarterbacks in history to throw 6 touchdown passes in a conference opener.
And he has been so decisive, so accurate, has made great decisions throughout the course of the game, pushing the ball down the field, identifying favorable matchups, getting to a great check here on the first drive of the second half, finding Pitts over the top as he did the rest. How about this one? Just throwing up a prayer, letting my big, strong, capable tight end in the back bring it down for me. Everything has been going right for Kyle Trask, and he deserves it given how hard he's worked this offseason.
Let's check in with Matt Berry.
Yeah, guys, Georgia Southern trying to upset Louisiana. Shy Wirtz to Caleb Hood, 17-16. Georgia Southern elects to go for 2. Watch the patience and footwork by Wirtz to scramble out, stay alive. 2-point conversion good. Right now, Georgia Southern up 18-17. And somewhere the head ball coach is blushing over all this Florida offense.
Is he ever? Ely? We'll get to the 29. What happened to everybody saying, oh, you know, COVID, no games to shake the rust off, and timing, and things may not look perfect? Florida offense looks pretty perfect.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think Dan Mullen was burying the lead the last couple of weeks. And I don't know how good we're going to be. We'll see. Well, I think they've answered their first test, at least on offense.
Corral trying to extend, and incomplete. Well, Saturday is here. Time to represent your school. Show us how big you're going today. You can submit your best fan video this weekend. Hashtag Show Your Saturday. And you might just get your 15 seconds of fan fame. You need to do that, McElroy. Get on there and do that.
I love it. I just love the SEC fandom, too. You know, it's just everyone's so excited. Us included. Great to be back in the South.
Corral dancing his way and then lowering the shoulder for a first down. You know, you made the comment to me earlier. We talked so much about John Rice Plumlee and his athleticism and his speed and what he's able to do with his wheels. Matt Corral's a pretty good athlete now.
Heck yeah.
Let's not dismiss that. He can go a little bit. And now he's got time. But does he have an option? No, he's got to check down to Connor.
You can win a lot of games with Matt Corral at quarterback, man. He has really hung in there. And look, if we're going to look at everything right now, the problems that I have with Ole Miss are not on the offensive side of the football. Against a defense like this, scoring nearly 30 and maybe having a chance to go over 30 is pretty dang impressive.
Hey, we get to see Alabama tonight in prime time against Mizzou. Speaking of impressive, what do you think of Mac Jones and what he's going to deliver at that quarterback position this year?
I think he's going to be great. I expect him to play at a really high level. Thought he did so last year in an impossible spot. Step in for Tua Tagovailoa, and to play as well as he did. Now he has a great supporting cast. Brings back Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris at running back. He's got an excellent offensive line, so I expect him to play at a really high level.
Ely. As he is taken down at the 44-yard line. And then a lot of new faces for LSU as they host Mississippi State. Second down run. That'll move the chains by Jerian Ely. Matt, what's up now?
Well, there is drama in Norman. Here comes Kansas State. Deuce Vaughn, 38 yards, looking like a little Darren Sproles. We're tied at 35 in Norman.
That game was 35-14. And Thompson, a couple of touchdown runs, and then Vaughn just tied it up 35 apiece. So a reverse of what we saw last year between those two.
How about Kansas State lost to Arkansas State just a couple weeks ago?
Well, I mean, the Big 12 could be a muddled mess, and Texas could be like a 777 going down the runway soon enough.
Second charge timeout, Florida. 30-second timeout.
Well, everyone was wondering about Oklahoma, though. I mean, okay, Spencer Rattler, we know they're going to score points on offense. That's who they are, but the defense has been the problem. Kansas State was replacing all 5 offensive linemen, had so many question marks, and here they are, potentially beating Oklahoma for the second time in as many years. what a job Chris Kleiman's done in short order.
More driven moment is brought to you by Goodyear, and Kyle Pitts has been more driven all day long, and so is the other Kyle Trask with his 6th touchdown pass of the day.
Yeah, the Kyle connection, that's for sure. How about this one, though? I mean, double coverage, and that's what they've done. Every time they've gotten in the red zone, Ole Miss has said, we are not going to let 84 beat us. We're going to double cover him with an underneath defender and a safety, and guess what? He has 4 red zone touchdowns. 3 red zone touchdowns and 1 long catch and run. So the double coverage doesn't matter. Whoever's playing Florida in the future might want to consider adding a 3rd defender to cover Kyle Pitts, because my goodness, he has been challenged and has answered that challenge every opportunity he's gotten.
Well, that'll be South Carolina next week. They have to go down to Gainesville. They'll be in the swamp trying to find a way to stop the Kyle connection. 2nd and 1. Corral incomplete. And Florida's sitting there on 642 total yards. 642 total yards. If that stands, that would be their most in an SEC game in school history. They had 640 against Mississippi State back in 2001. 642 total yards right now against Ole Miss. As Snoop Conner takes it ahead, that'll move the chains.
And nearly 9 yards of play. Could you imagine, Joe, how comfortable you must feel as a play caller? Dan Mullen and, and his offensive staff going into 2nd and 1 on average. I mean, 9 yards of play offensively. Pretty remarkable.
Makes life easy, doesn't it? Corral, that was batted at the line of scrimmage.
One thing I want to see from this Florida team here in the coming weeks, I want them to identify that game-changing pass rusher. They always have a guy that can get home without having to bring a ton of pressure. Now, Todd Grantham, he's going to bring blitz packages. We know that. But last year, he didn't have to do as much because of Zuniga and Jonathan Gennard. Who's going to be that guy this year? I think it's going to be Brenton Cox, but we'll see as the season goes along.
Couple of NFL draft picks at left defensive line as Moore makes his way to the 12-yard line. Elijah Moore is wildly talented. And let me say this about Elijah Moore, because forever he'll be infamously attached to last year's loss to Mississippi State when he scored the would-be game-tying touchdown, only to celebrate pretending to be a dog doing a certain something. Well, as this is taken down to the 11-yard line that time by night. Well, we spent time with Elijah Moore the other day, and everybody around the program will say this, that he has grown from that experience. It has matured him a lot, and he's considered a team leader here in Oxford.
Yeah.
2nd and 9. Corral spins free, but then is taken down. Just tried to fling it backwards, but it was that second wave of pursuit that eventually got him. That was Diabate.
And back to what you were saying there about Elijah Moore. Hey, it was a teachable moment at the end of the Egg Bowl. Of course, that's a bitter rivalry, no love lost, and he clearly made a mistake. Some say that it might have costed his coach his job, but in all things considered, man, the way you respond to a mistake is a lot about what type of character you display. And him becoming a leader, becoming really engaged in the locker room, it's really impressive to see him grow from this. I'm happy for him.
Here's what I'll say about that, Greg. I completely agree with you. That's what college is all about. That's what college is for, to develop and learn and be taught how to be a man at this stage, and what college football does. I was pretty stupid at 20 and 21 years old.
No doubt.
A lot of us were.
Absolutely.
And Elijah Moore is a better man for it. And the guy that we visited with the other day. So the SEC is off and running, and we're going to see LSU coming up in just a little bit. Of course, only 5 starters returning. Joe's cashing checks in the league up there in Cincinnati. But you got a lot of talent, and you have a lot of teams that are in contention to win championships. And then you have new coaches, especially here in the state of Mississippi with Lane and the Pirate. And Kyle Trask, well, he's preseason top the list of the quarterbacks, but Bo Nix is having a good day for Auburn. Kellen Mond is a dynamic talent.
I think Kellen Mond is going to be maybe one of the more interesting storylines. Now, he's been with Jimbo Fisher for quite some time, and Texas A&M coming into the year, pretty high expectations.
Well, there are some people who have them as the super trendy pick in the West.
And it's all going to be predicated on how Kellen Mond does.
Playing things out here with Corral in this Ole Miss offense as he gets inside the 10 and tries to reach out for the goal line. Ball comes loose and he jumps on it. Let's see if they mark him down short. No, it's a touchdown with the recovery in the end zone. So heads up play by Matt Corral and a touchdown for Ole Miss.
He's done this all throughout this game. Just making guys miss. Pretty sudden as a runner. And a good effort there. They'll probably take a look at it. So it looked like he was down as that ball was dislodged.
Of a fumble recovered in the end zone for a touchdown is under further review.
So they're going to review this and see if indeed that stands. It was a 20-yard run and then a fumble recovery in the end zone by Corral. As he's twirling around and then is aware enough to lunge forward and jump on that football. Does that before Kimbrough had a chance. But is he down there, or is it a fumble and a recovery?
It's tough to see. Is that ball moving as he's going to the ground, or is it the ground that actually forces the ball free? Should be a good look at it here.
Watch his right hand here. Is it the ground that causes it? Watch his back end as well. And it looks like he's got the point of the football there in his hand.
It looks
that
like
may be down by contact there, Greg. I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to overturn it and give them 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
After further review, the ruling is the runner was down with the ball inside the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal at the 1. The clock will start on my signal.
This official review was brought to you by Richard Schwartz and Associates. Make the right call. One call. That's all.
So Snoop Connor and Corral will set up at the 1-yard line. See if they can punch it in. And Connor does just that. Stay out there for the 2-point conversion with 58 seconds to play. Corral's going to run it himself, and he's going to come up short. Yeah, there were a lot of people out west who figured that Florida was about a 2-touchdown favorite.
Big sigh of relief from some of those people out west, Joe.
51-35.
I've got to be proud of how Ole Miss has battled offensively. Look, their defense certainly has their fair share of issues, things that they'll have to iron out in the future. But Matt Corral and this young group of talented players on the Ole Miss offense, man, they've hung in there and they've battled as hard as they possibly can, and just need to get a little help from the other side of the football. And this could be a little bit of a dangerous team, especially if they can figure out that defensive side.
They're going to be a fun team, aren't they? They're going to be a TV-friendly team. You got Elijah Moore with 9 catches for 196 yards. You got Corral with 354 passing and 3 touchdowns. You got speed everywhere you look with Ely and Mingo. And then, as you mentioned, Kenny Abo is a nice addition at tight end. He offers them something as well. He's got 81 yards and a touchdown. So there will be some fun days ahead of watching Lane Kiffin and Jeff Lebby control things with this offense. And then John Rice Plumlee with the change of pace quarterback. And then we'll see what happens in the coming years as they try to get more defensive talent in here. Listen, they have the guys who can recruit defensive talent. Chris Partridge and DJ Durkin can handle that. Onside kick, ball is bouncing around, and Ole Miss feels like they have it. And they do. So 54 seconds remaining, and Ole Miss recovers the onside kick. Jalen Jones comes up with it.
Great execution there from Ole Miss and their special teams. Sometimes when you see that onside kick where the kicker just kicks it straight ahead, they get a little too fired up. They kick it a little too hard. But that timed up perfectly with when those kickoff guys flanking either side of the kicker, when they arrived to deliver the contact. That was really nicely executed to give this offense a chance.
So well done by Luke Logan, senior kicker. And now the offense is back out there.
First charge timeout, Ole Miss. 30-second timeout.
Now Lane Kiffin is going to utilize a timeout here. You know, you consider you take over a program, and then you take over a program in the midst of COVID. You take over a program when at various times throughout the summer there is great doubt if you're ever going to even arrive at this date. You don't have certain luxuries you would normally have during training camp. At times you don't have your full roster. And then you're not playing the soft touch non-conference opponent. It's always a great challenge when you're a new staff. Communications, game operations, all of it. You do it against the number 5 team in the country?
Yeah. It's tough. There's no doubt. I mean, but Lane Kiffin knew. He embraced this challenge. And the reason why he's here is because he felt really good about some of his young offensive talent. And he also knows that this is a place where you can win. Now, granted, he's playing against a team that's 3 years into their development and their rise to the top of college football.
Corral thought about throwing it to the near side, and then darts ahead. And have 2 timeouts remaining.
You got to think. I mean, it's obviously a long shot, but you got to push the ball down the field. Florida's defense wants you to run the ball underneath.
Corral drives it to the 35-yard line where Yeboah comes up with the reception. And he's reaching for his lower back. And he's going to take a knee now. Yeboah was a little slow to get up. You could see him reaching for his lower back, and now he's going to lay down and let the medical staff come out and deal with him. We have stars on the marquee in the SEC, don't we, when it comes to the Florida Gators?
This is a timeout for
The Kyles. The Kyle connection. Trask and Pitts.
It's a dynamic duo there, man. I mean, they looked like they were in mid-season form. And credit also to Dan Mullen and really finding a way to feature Kyle Pitts and moving him around, keeping him in line, and also at the same time making Kyle Trask really comfortable. They worked him into the plan nicely. He's very accurate and decisive with the football and allowed his playmakers to do a lot of special things with the ball in their hands.
4 touchdown catches for Pitts. That ties the Florida record. And then Trask comes up 1 short in terms of the Florida record for touchdown passes in a game. 6 touchdown passes in a game. They've been sitting there at 642 yards of total offense for a while now. I mentioned to you that would be their most in a conference game in school history.
I can't wait to see what Georgia's going to do this afternoon. Now that we've seen Florida, I can't wait to see what Tennessee and South Carolina are going to do tonight. And then, of course, what Georgia's going to do against Arkansas. The East is interesting after this performance.
And Corral is ripped down. That was TJ Slayton, the senior from Fort Lauderdale. And Ole Miss will use a timeout. You know, TJ's an interesting character because, Greg, he goes 6'5", 340, but he was a really good high school basketball player. And his teammates get all revved up because you go on social media and he'll put forth dunk videos. My man is 6'5", 340, and he's doing dunk videos.
I'd say that's pretty explosive.
It is. A lot of big defensive linemen, though, who we know had some basketball prowess in their background. Consider themselves good hoopsters.
That's true. Our dear friend Marcus Spears.
Oh, was he a good basketball player, Spears?
So I've heard. Whether or not that's accurate, I don't know. But I guess history has a way of adjusting to those who tell it, right? I think Spears, of course, at 6'2", 6'2",
he may be 6'2" and a hook.
I love it. These defensive linemen in this league, man, there are some athletic big guys up front.
There are. Slayton's one of them. Little slingshot sidearm this time to Elijah Moore. I mean, Elijah Moore has been everywhere today, and he adds to his grand total. 31 yards there. Elijah Moore, 10 catches, 227 yards against this Florida defense. 227 yards receiving, Greg.
It's amazing. Amazing.
Still got so much good ball set to come your way. We've got 2-0 Army and 14th ranked Cincinnati coming up in moments from Nippert Stadium. And we're going to settle in and watch some SEC football throughout the night. I am curious to see what Georgia looks like, especially at the quarterback position. And then Alabama and all that great talent out on the edge of their offense and in that backfield. And Jones taking control of things there for Coach Saban.
You referenced that Army-Cincinnati game. I'm really excited about that game. I think Cincinnati's excellent, but Army so far, granted, it hasn't been against the best teams in America, but they've been as dominant as anybody through the first 2 weeks of the season.
Ole Miss hoping for a little more tally on that scoreboard. Corral to the end zone, incomplete. Don't kid yourself thinking there aren't those greatly interested in these final 4 seconds. Matt Corral steps up in the pocket to the end zone again, and incomplete, and triple zeros across. And Florida with 642 total yards, their most in a conference game in school history. For Marty Smith, Greg McElroy, I'm Joe Tessitore. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's get you to Cincy.
ESPN. Thank you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference.